Though having your own website is certainly not imperative for you to have a successful bodywork practice, you will absolutely stand head and shoulders above the crowd of bodyworkers out there if you have a simple, direct, clear website that reflects the work that you do. Welcome to Do It With Intention, the podcast for massage and bodywork therapists. I'm your host, Mindy Totten, a mentor and coach for bodyworkers who want to turn their passion for the work they do into successful businesses that they love, all without burning out or selling out. For the last 16 plus years, I've created a successful six-figure craniosacral therapy practice in a small city in coastal North Carolina. Over those years, I have met so many skilled, big-hearted therapists who are struggling to make their bodywork businesses work for them. Not because they weren't terrific therapists, but because they didn't know how to make the business side of their practices work. It became my mission to help other massage and bodywork therapists build practices that support not only your soul, but also your bottom line. On the Do It With Intention podcast, we dive deep into what it takes to build and to sustain a profitable massage or bodywork business. We have honest conversations about what really works and what doesn't as you create the ideal practice for you. After all, you do great work in the world and you deserve to make a great living doing it. But you've got to be intentional about it, not only in your modality, but in your business too. That's how bodyworkers do it with intention. Hey there. Welcome back to the Do It With Intention podcast. I'm your host, Mindy Totten, and today we are going to talk about websites. I've had tons of questions recently about websites. I think it's because it's near the beginning of the year and people want to, me included, you want to start new, you want to start fresh, you want to hit the ground running. And a website is a wonderful way to do that. And so I've had lots of questions about, do I need to hire someone? I talked to somebody and it would cost me $8,000 to have them do my website. And I'm like, oh gosh. So for the next couple of episodes, I want to share some tips for you that will help you design a clear, concise website that reflects you and the work you do. Because the truth of the matter is that you absolutely do not need a website to have a successful bodywork business. You don't. I know lots of folks who have been in business forever who don't have websites at all. They just have word of mouth referrals. But it does make you stand out above the crowd, head and shoulders above the crowd of other body workers out there if you have a clear, concise, very strong website that clearly reflects your work. And so people can look at that and say, oh, I can see myself in that. That's me. I do need this kind of help. I do want to try this type of service. So if you're thinking about updating your website or starting a website, the next couple of episodes are for you. And today we're going to talk about writing a services page. But before we do that, I wanted to tell you a story about 2-3 months ago now. I was traveling, and I won't tell you where because I don't want to embarrass anyone or make anyone feel badly or anything like that. But I was traveling with my husband and my wonderful red-bone coonhound, George. And we were staying at a place for a week. And I was like, God, this is perfect. I need a massage so freaking bad. I got to find somebody in town who can give me a massage. So I get online and I Google, massage therapists in this town that I'm in or, the vicinity. And I was so saddened by what I found. And here are a couple of things for you to remember too. So I'm going to give you some examples of what not to do, but I might not be your ideal client. Your ideal client might have done things completely differently from me. So you really want to focus on who your ideal client is and how they might search for your services, what they might Google. They might Google migraine headaches or something rather than massage therapists in this town. So I Google that, a couple of results come up, and I click on the first one to take me to the website, and it takes me to a Facebook page. Absolutely 100%. If you're listening to this podcast, I know that you are a rock'em sock'em awesome body worker. You absolutely need to have more than a Facebook page. Because, for example, I am actively looking at this point for a massage. I Google people and I'm not on Facebook. So I can't go to the Facebook page to find that. And that's all the information there was about this one particular person. So, boom, off the top, she's off my list. Like, I don't know anything about her because I can't get onto Facebook. So even if you are really active on social media and you get a lot of clients that way, which is not particularly easy for body workers to do, but let's say that, you are one of the few people who can do that. Even if you've got a really strong social media presence, you still want to have a website. Again, it doesn't have to be anything really fancy, or you don't have to hire, graphic designers and copywriters or this or that. It can be very, very simple, one-page website, but you do need to have a presence beyond your social media so that people will take you seriously. Okay, so that was the first mistake. So that person's off the list. Then I go down to the next person. I click on it and she has a website. And so I'm looking at the website. I'm looking through saying, hey, do I resonate with this person? What kind of services does she offer? And everything on the website is about her. It's all about the trainings that she's had and the certifications that she's had and the kind of work she likes to do and her hobbies and this. And it's nothing about me, who is potentially her ideal client. I needed to see something like, are you struggling right now because your neck is killing you from driving 6 hours? Well, yes, as a matter of fact, I am. Let me come in and see you. Of course, I'm being a little facetious with that example, but there was nothing that allowed me to connect with this person. There was no resonance, nothing resonated about the website. So I was like, number 2 down. So then I clicked on the third one and I read a little bit about her. I was like, okay, this is the kind of work, if for me, I don't enjoy, for example, deep tissue sports massage. So I looked to see if that's what the different therapists offer. She didn't offer that. She offers a little bit gentler, a little more subtle touch work. And I'm like, hey, this could be a really good fit. Let me see what she charges. And we're going to talk about that in a little bit. Nothing on the website about what she charges. So I'm like, God. And then I go to the services page, like how many, what does she actually offer? And y'all, there are just like dozens of different choices. There's, a 30-minute massage, a 45-minute massage, a 60-minute massage, a 75-minute massage, a 90-minute massage. I'm like, oh my gosh, what you need to narrow down, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. And I was so overwhelmed with the choices that I was like, you know what, forget it. I'm just going to go in the hot tub on our, we had this little cabin that had a hot tub. I'm just going to go in the hot tub and forget about getting a massage. And I want you to think about that because I'm convinced this happens all the time. People are actively looking for you and the kind of work that you do. But if you're not meeting them where they are, you're not going to connect and, first of all, be able to share your beautiful work with somebody. And the potential client, like me, is going to continue to go along in my life with a sore neck from driving 6 hours or whatever it is. So you absolutely, if you can create a very simple one-page website. And we go into great detail with this inside of the Bodywork Project. In one of the modules, we go through each of the steps, and I even provide a template so that you can use it to get all of the important pieces of a website together. But for right now, for the podcast, I wanted to share just a couple of tastes of that. And so today, we're going to talk about the services page. And as I alluded to earlier, the biggest mistake people make on their services page is just putting too many darn things on there. Just, I do massage, hey, this is what I should have started with. I did all these things. I made all these freaking mistakes on my first couple of websites. I said that I did craniosacral, I did aromatherapy, I did Thai massage, I did relaxation massage, I did hot stone massage, just on and on and on and on. And it was totally confusing for people. So you don't want to have too many options. And I know that's counterintuitive to what we think will be helpful for people. We want to let people know, hey, I do massage, and you can also add on, I don't know, a foot scrub, or you can add on some craniosacral therapy, or you can. But what happens is it's too many choices. There are just too many choices, and people's brains do not have the capacity, especially in this day and age when our attentions are like teeny tiny gnat attention, that we don't have the capacity to go through and to figure out on our own what we need. Especially if I'm somebody who is not familiar with body work, or I'm not familiar with your particular modality. If I see all these different choices, it totally turns me off, and it makes me say, oh, forget it. I need to go. I'm going to just skip it altogether, or I need to go somewhere where I can understand what the choices are. So what do you do for your website on your services page? I recommend that you have no more than 3 choices on your services page. Now, if you're used to having like 27, that can come as kind of like a rude awakening. Whoa, I need to really narrow this down. But I invite you to think about that, as it's important to narrow your focus in your practice anyway, because that's really the fastest way to fill your practice, is to narrow your focus and what work that you do. That's another episode, which we will come back to another time. So try to narrow your services on your website down to 3 different choices. And that might be, like, for me, all I offer is craniosacral therapy, all day long, all day strong. But I have 3 different choices. You can come in for 30 minutes, 60 minutes, or 90 minutes. So those are my 3 choices. So that will let somebody say, well, a couple of things. It might be like, oh, I don't have time for any more than 30 minutes. That's what I want to do. Or people might say, I want as much time as I can get. I'm going to do the 90-minute one. But it doesn't require them to do too much thinking. The choices are very clear. It's this, or this. It's not 48 different things with 16 different add-ons available, and you can mix and match. That's just too much for people. The second thing that I alluded to earlier also is I highly recommend you put your pricing on your website. And here's why. I know that there is a school of thought out there in the business world that says, no, don't put your prices on your website because people are just price shopping. They're just going to, go to the person who has the lowest price. And I suppose that could be true, but here's the thing. It's true for me, and it might be true for you as well. I don't want people who are just price shopping for the lowest possible price. Those aren't my ideal clients. I want people who are really empowered, who want to be empowered in their own healing journey, in their own wellness journey. And I want people to know, hey, this is what I charge. I offer an outstanding client experience. It's a premium client experience, and I'm charging premium prices for it. So the school of thought is like, if you don't put your pricing on your website, that's good, because then people will call you to find out how much your pricing, how much you're charging for a session. And then when you have them on the phone, then you can sell to them. Then you can convince them to come in. I'm like, no, I don't want to convince you to come in. Like, here's what I offer. You can read from testimonials. You can see, parts of my training, you've read reviews or whatever. Here's what I offer. Here's how much it is. Here are the results that I've seen. This is my experience. And if you want to have the same types of results, come on board, like sign up. Let's come in for a session. I don't want to get on the phone and somebody say, how much is it? And I say, it's 100 and whatever you're charging right now. Let's say it's $175 an hour, whatever it is, or $65 an hour, whatever it is. And people say, oh, geez, that's really expensive. And you're like, no, but think about it. No, I don't want to do that. So I put my pricing on the website. It's there. It's direct. The other thing I got to tell you, truly, I don't know if you feel this way, but when I get on a site and I'm looking for whatever it is, I don't know if I'm buying, party balloons or something, whatever it is, if the pricing is not on the site, there's a part of me that's like, why isn't it on the site? What's wrong with what's going on here? Why haven't they put the pricing on there? And I think a lot of people, I mean, we are geared now in this day and age of online shopping, we are geared to know how much it costs. So I highly, highly encourage you to include your pricing on your services page. And again, that's very, very simple because you're offering up to 3 things. So there's 3 different prices, or they all might be the same. You know, I've seen people who offer, let's say, craniosacral therapy, they offer massage, or they offer a combination of craniosacral therapy and massage. And then it's just 1 hour for each of those, and the price is the same. So no matter how it works for you and the type of business that you want to build, try to make it as simple and straightforward as possible. And then the final thing that you want to include on your services page is how people can pay you. So some people, some people have like an online scheduler and they pay with credit card before they even come in. I say something on my services page like cash, checks, and credit cards are all welcome. Tips are not accepted. I say it, boom, right there on the services page so that people aren't thinking, okay, well, she charges $160 an hour, but then do I have to add a tip? If I do a tip, how much should it be? Da, da, da. It's just clear as day right on the services page. This is how you pay me, and tips are not accepted. Again, that's part of creating that safe container for your business and for your clients that allow clients and potential clients to feel non-consciously probably, but to feel safe and to be drawn to work with you. All right. So that is it for today. That is a few quick ideas about your services page. Again, up to 3 choices. Be sure to list the prices and then how can people pay you. Okay, next week we will jump in again with a quick episode on some other facets of a web page. Until then, I hope you have a beautiful week. I hope you keep doing your wonderful work, and I hope you keep doing it with intention. Thanks for coming on this journey with me today. I know what it takes to find time to fit something like a podcast into your busy day, and I so appreciate that you tuned in and listened all the way to the end. We've got all the links from today's episode in the show notes that you can find over at mindytotten.com/podcast. That's Mindy Totten, TOTTEN.com/podcast. If you really enjoyed today's conversation, I'd love for you to take a quick moment to leave a review on Apple Podcasts. And make sure that you subscribe so that you can download each episode as soon as it comes out. That'll help us get this podcast in front of more massage and body workers like you so that we can all work together to make the world a touch kinder. Okay, that's it for today. It's my pleasure and my privilege to be with you on this journey. I'll see you next week, same place, same time. Until then, get out there and do it with intention.